Welcome back, everybody. Dave the Gamer here. Today I wanted to give you an update where I'm currently sitting on my accounts. So right now I have two level 60 accounts. I have my Hunter and my Rogue. So I originally started with my Hunter. Great experience overall. In all the previous times of playing WoW, I always did like Mage and Warlock, like a caster class. Kind of, I'm a range class still, minus the Rogue. But Hunter was a great experience. Had tons of fun. The class quest was just amazing overall. So if you've never done it, I wish they'd done a lot more kind of quests to be able to, like how I got the bow. They should have something like that for every single class. Something unique like that. Just really tied into the experience. Something different with having pets and having to train and update all your pets. So I can't, recommend Hunter more than enough. DPS, very good in raids. It will become godlike once we get to the next phase, TBC. They will become the #1 overall. And even now, as I get the 8 set, they are very strong. The 8 set of BWL just makes these crazy. And I'll actually keep the 8 set, I believe, the whole way till phase 6. Maybe late phase 5 is when I'll replace it. But now that I'm actually making this my alt, so I can focus a little bit more on my Rogue. But I'll show you where I've got so far. So I already did the class quest. I updated. I got the quiver. I don't recommend getting this quiver. This quiver, you gain an extra 2 slot spaces, and it cost me like 600 gold when you complete the quest. Don't do that. I got the bow. Like I said, I used the bow. I used the staff. Now, overall, the weapon out of Dire Maul North Tribute runs is slightly better when it comes to pure PvE. This is more of a PvP with all the stamina. But I have 2 of the tier 2 pieces, basically from MC. I got the helm and I got the boots. For MC purposes wise, I got 4 of the pieces overall. Like I said, MC, it's decent. Thankfully Hunters don't rely on gear too much outside of their bow. But yep, I got the Oni necklace by getting the headpiece. I got the Oni cloak, of course, for BWL. I have all the better capes as far as that goes too. And then my trinkets, I'm using the guard captain, which is still a great trinket overall. You get from a quest line. I did get exalted through AV, so I have the Don Julio's band, which is great. And then I use the Tarnished Elven Ring as the other item itself. And like I said, then you also get this one. This one is out of Skullomance. The 1% hit for the boots is amazing. I do have some variants to some of my gear. Depends on what I plan on actually doing with it. So right now I'm rocking a 9% hit. You need a bare minimum 8. So I've been swapping out gear pieces based off what it is. I'm pretty much full MC geared as far as that goes on my Hunter. I haven't really taken him into BWL yet. I did once, but I didn't get any drops, and then I started my Rogue, which I just got to level 60, which is now my main focus because I want to go much harder into PvP itself. And I find it funner to be on a Rogue than a Hunter personally. Maybe it's just me because I always get killed by a Rogue on my Hunter, even though I should be able to kind of outplay them. Maybe I'm just not that good. Who knows? But let's take a look at my Rogue. So first off, before I get into my Rogue, which is Silent Chaos, if you guys are on Dream Scythe, please add me. Love to have and communicate, help any way I can. So like I said, the Hunter now is kind of like my alt class. I have alchemy and engineering on him. That's who I use to make all my potions and engineering supplies, which I then send to my bank alt, which is Flip Gold. That's who uploads all of my stuff onto the auction house. And then I have Gold Flip and Green Alt. Both these 2 is where I send all of my investments. So essentially I send all of the investments I have that for phase 4, 5, 6 TBC investments to Green Alt. Once they about expire, I will then send it to Gold Flip, and then basically from there they'll just send them back and forth every 60 days, so I don't lose the item. So I use these 2 as all of my investments. I use this to put all my auctions on, and these are my 2 level 60s as far as that goes. Realistically, my Rogue I did boost to level 60, which I'm not a big fan of boosting, but I was able to do that while I was creating videos for you guys. So maybe if you're doing schoolwork, stuff like that, okay, that's about the only way I would say you should ever do that as far as that goes. But yeah, so let's take a look at the rogue. So I just hit level 60 a couple days ago. I typically only play 2 to 4 hours max a day. I'm working 12 hours a day, 2-hour drive time, 1 hour each way. So I'm working 14 hours a day. I have just enough time during the week to maybe log on, post some stuff. So I feel like I did pretty good progress for, not too many hours, as far as that goes. But with my rogue, look at this. My first raid ever in MC with my rogue. Everybody was so mad because literally I just got into it. Perdition blade, the best blade that's going to carry me the whole way to phase 4, and really even the phase 4 one. Yes, it's an upgrade, but I could still use this. So I'm going daggers because swords is a little bit harder to gear up off of, because all the warriors and everybody else wants swords. I personally would rather swords because then it's easier to open world gold farm with swords compared to daggers, because I can't backstab a monster as well compared to just using swords. But it is what it is. I went daggers. Daggers I think is much better for PvP in my opinion as far as that goes. And then my offhand, I just used the shadow blade, which I just bought off the auction house for 30 gold. Super cheap, really nice items. This one you can pick up a lot of just regular basic BOEs in general to get geared up until you get some of your better items. I do have the basic pre-raid best in slot for my swords, but none of the epic ones as far as that goes. Now I've only done MC twice on this character and BWL once, so I'm pretty well brand new on this one overall. But I did go get the shadowcraft set. So not only the shadowcraft 6-piece, I did get the additional shoulders, and I plan to get the chest. Why? If I only need the 6, it's because I want to replace the gloves with the Age Core gauntlets out of MC, and then I'll probably go with the boots out of BWL with the 2% hit and 44 attack power, which will be the 2 that I replace. But to be able to replace these 2, I need the chest as well. So I did get one BWL chest or shoulder item that I got off one of the drops as far as that goes. So I plan to use the 6 set of Shadowcraft set pretty much for a very long time. It's a great set overall, with the set bonus giving you 35 restore energy. The only time you're going to really replace this, especially in phase 3, is if I had the entire 8 set of BWL gear. That's the only time that the gear, the damage per second actually goes over the Shadowcraft set. So like I said, I use the Shadowcraft set for everything. I'm using some crappy necklace. I'm hoping to get the Oni necklace this week off the raid. I keep having a bad chance when I go into Strat Dead to get the cape. So I just used a Dark Phantom off the auction house for 20 gold, 10 gold. As far as that goes. I did just also out of BWL off Nefarian, I did pick up this ring, which in reality, PvE wise, you want to go with 2 tarnished elven rings, or realistically, you get Nefarian's ring. If you get his head, the quest gets you a ring, and then you would go with Don Julio's, the AV Exalted. That's the direction I'm going. Like I said, I just hit 60. So now I'm finally getting into PvP. I just wanted to really focus getting my Shadowcraft set, which also helps me in PvP because great agility, great stamina. Like I'm sitting at 3,300 health unbuffed, and I'm still missing some pieces. Like my chest piece is terrible. There's still some things I really need. My chest, my necklace are just god awful. So I plan to replace those next as far as that goes. Then I'll focus on replacing the gloves and the other stuff. But I just got this. This is amazing for PvP wise. Look at that, 28 stamina, 14 agility. This is amazing to be able to get. So no one else was rolling on it, and I didn't get any other gear out of there, so I snagged that bad boy. I got the quest off, the quest trinket for the 2% crit, and then the big one, the Hand of Justice. Be a little jealous. First shot. First time going in the BRD, I got it to drop, and I made sure I was the only person that needed it going into there when I made the group. So I got it, and I'm so happy. I got all kind of guildies that are 100 runs in and still have not got it. So I'm very thankful to get this. This will carry forward to phase 3, phase 4. You could really use it till later phases because the trinkets that replace it are so sought after that everybody's going to want it. It's going to take forever to get. So I'm happy to eventually get that I did get this one. And then for the bow, I just used a bow out of Dire Maul East, which is perfect for the 1% hit. So overall, my rogue is pretty well geared up. So before, eventually, like I said, I'll get the 8 set of the BWL gear, but realistically, I just need a necklace, a chest, which is I'm going to get the shadowcraft chest piece as far as that goes. So I need the necklace, the gloves out of MC, the boots out of BWL, the Don Julio ring, and then I will replace this trinket with the trinket out of BWL with the 2% hit if I can ever get my hands on it. Eventually, I'll get the Striker's Bow out of MC. That's the same type of setup, but 24 attack power more. And then finally, I plan to get the Core Hound Tooth Dagger off the boss in MC as far as that goes. That will be the final piece. So I got like 5 pieces to pretty much be completely maxed out for phase 3 BWL phase, which is awesome. So literally just got this guy to 60 less than a week ago, and I'm already there. So overall, gold wise, just to show you guys, I'm sitting, I guess my add-on is broken right now since the last update as far as that goes, but we can look at my ledger overall. So between all of my counts, realistically it's messed up because the jagged arrows is super inflated for whatever reason. So if you subtract that, realistically I'm probably 15 to 16,000 gold across all of my accounts. A lot of it is investing items. You see I have several thousand venom sacks, elemental water, stone scale EO, ice caps, all this stuff that it's phase 4, 5, 6 investments. So my 15,000 realistically is probably like 50, 60,000 once the prices actually go up for those phases and I sell it. So realistically, I don't really need a gold farm anymore. I'll have enough gold going into TBC, and that was my whole plan. So now I can focus on becoming a master at PvP for Rogue. That's my goal. I want to dominate PvP for Rogue, get the rank 14 weapons, which will overtake a lot of my other gear overall. And then I really want to perfect it going into TBC. They get so much more to their kit going into TBC. I can't wait to learn everything and really fine tune and master it. I got a lot to go. I don't have many hours on this character, especially with boosting. So I'm kind of behind the curve, but I plan to dig deep so I can eventually make some montage video for you with PvP, me slaughtering everybody 3 versus 1. Who knows? Probably not. I'll probably just die, but it is what it is. But thanks for watching my little progression video of where I'm at in my journey so far in this classic. And stay tuned. I have so many more videos to come, from beginners to gold farms to class guides, you name it, I'm making it as far as that goes. I'm sticking around this time. Last time I quit right before TBC. I don't plan on quitting this time. I'm continuing on. We're going to make hundreds and hundreds of videos on every little part of this game, and I love to hear all the comments below. If you have some topics of ideas that you want me to test out, maybe a gold farm or how to explain something, or class guide for a certain class, let me know. I love the help. Until next time though, game on.